Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're exploring fenugreek. It's this really fascinating herb. Got a long history in traditional medicine, but now modern research is catching up too.
It really is.
We've pulled together insights from, well, scientific studies, nutritional info, trying to really get a handle on what it might offer you.
Hmm.
Our goal here is just to boil down the sort of most compelling potential benefits, give you a clear picture without getting totally lost in the weeds.
Good plan.
And yeah, we should probably mention that distinct characteristic, that hint of maple syrup some people notice.
Yes, the maple syrup connection. Trigonella phonum graecum, that's the scientific name. It's been used for ages. Mediterranean Asia. Leaves, seeds, both used in cooking. Gives that sweet, slightly bitter, almost mapley flavor.
Right.
But yeah, beyond just taste, the research is starting to show some, well, pretty interesting health possibilities.
Okay, let's dive right in then. Blood sugar management, that's a big one for a lot of people. Research seems to suggest fenugreek could be quite helpful for folks with type 2 diabetes, even pre-diabetes.
Yes, there was one review that showed a really significant reduction in fasting blood sugar levels.
And just to be clear, keeping that fasting blood sugar in check is important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if it stays high consistently, that can lead to some pretty serious long-term problems.
Absolutely. Uncontrolled high fasting blood sugar. We're talking increased risk of nerve damage, issues with vision, hearing, heart problems, kidney disease, even affects dental health. It's quite systemic.
Wow.
And what's interesting with fenugreek is its high fiber content. That seems to be a key factor.
The fiber, right.
Yeah, fiber slows down digestion, slows the absorption of sugars, glucose,
Right.
which helps keep blood sugar levels more stable. So
Right.
it's potentially addressing a core metabolic aspect.
And it seems it's not just for people already diagnosed. I saw a study where adding fenugreek powder to, like, baked goods, it lowered blood sugar spikes after meals, even in people without diabetes.
That's right. Which suggests a broader potential role in just, maintaining healthy glucose metabolism generally. Pretty interesting.
Definitely. Okay, so sticking with metabolic health, what about cholesterol? That's another major concern for heart health.
Indeed. And fenugreek seems to show promise there too. High LDL, the bad cholesterol, and low HDL, the good kind, are major risk factors for heart disease.
And the findings look pretty positive. I remember seeing a review showing significant drops in total cholesterol and that LDL cholesterol.
Yes. And importantly, an increase in the good HDL cholesterol too.
Oh, that's good.
And these effects seemed especially noticeable in people with diabetes who, as we know, are already at a higher risk for heart issues.
Right.
Makes sense. But, and this is really crucial, while fenugreek might help, it's probably most effective when it's used alongside medications and lifestyle changes.
Okay, so it's not a magic bullet replacement.
Exactly. Think of it more as a potential complementary approach, working with conventional treatments, not instead of them.
Got it. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Menstrual cramps. A lot of people deal with that discomfort. Does fenugreek offer anything there?
It looks like it might. There are compounds in fenugreek called phytoestrogens.
Phytoestrogens.
Okay. And the thinking is these might interact with the body's own estrogen receptors in a subtle, potentially helpful way. One review suggested this could be beneficial for primary dysmenorrhea. That's the term for painful periods without another underlying cause.
And was there specific research on pain reduction?
Yes, one study found that taking fenugreek supplements significantly reduced lower abdominal pain, a noticeable percentage drop.
What I found interesting about this study was they just used straight fenugreek powder, right? Easily available stuff.
That's right, they just put it in capsules for the study. And the dose was quite small, something like a third of a teaspoon, 3 times a day, just for the first few days of the period.
And that still made a significant difference in pain.
Apparently so, according to that study. It does seem like a very accessible option to potentially explore.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, another traditional use, helping with breast milk supply.
Yes, its reputation as a galactagogue. That's a substance believed to boost milk production. It's been used that way for a very long time.
And does the science back that up?
It seems to. There was a randomized controlled trial, quite a strong study type, where a small amount of fenugreek combined with ginger and turmeric, actually.
Doubled milk production. I saw that figure. That sounds huge.
It's a pretty dramatic result, yes. Yeah. Doubled production within about a month.
Wow.
And other studies looking at things like fenugreek tea or even just water that seeds have been soaked in also showed increases in milk volume and, importantly, healthy weight gain in the infants.
So different ways to potentially get that benefit.
Seems so.
Okay, now, This next one might be a bit surprising for some. There's research looking at fenugreek and testosterone levels in men.
Yes, this area has definitely gained some attention. One study looked at men aged 35 to 65. After 12 weeks of taking a fenugreek supplement, they saw a statistically significant increase in testosterone levels.
Hmm, interesting. Any other effects noted?
Well, other studies have reported improvements in things like libido, mental alertness, mood, even sperm count in some cases.
And does it matter what kind of fenugreek or how much?
It seems like specific extracts might be key here. Research often uses dosages like, say, 300 milligrams twice a day, or a specific 600 milligram extract.
Okay.
There was even one study combining fenugreek extract with resistance training.
Exercise.
Right, and they found not only increased testosterone, but also a reduction in body fat compared to training alone. Suggests a potential synergy there.
Interesting combination. So
Yeah.
beyond those main areas, are there other potential benefits being looked at, even preliminary ones?
There are a few. Some early work suggests it might help with appetite control, potentially leading to eating less fat. One small pilot study indicated it could help with heartburn, maybe similar to antacids.
Really? Heartburn.
Yeah, but again, pilot study needs more investigation. And some animal studies have shown anti-inflammatory effects. But for all of these, it's really important to stress more research is definitely needed to confirm anything.
Okay, fair enough. So we've talked about what it might do. What's actually in fenugreek nutritionally?
Good question. If you look at, say, a tablespoon of the whole seeds, you get a decent amount of fiber, some protein, carbs, a bit of fat, plus minerals like iron, manganese, magnesium.
So some good stuff in there.
Definitely beneficial nutrients. But you have to remember, people usually consume it in pretty small amounts, like as a spice or a small supplement dose. It's not like eating a bowl of it to get all your daily nutrients.
Right, it's not a primary source for everything. Okay, so if someone is interested in trying it, how do they actually use it? What are the options?
There are quite a few ways. It's used as a spice in cooking, obviously.
Hi.
You can find fenugreek tea. Some people soak the seeds in water and drink that or eat the seeds. And then, of course, there are supplements, capsules, powders.
But is there like a standard dose everyone should take?
That's the tricky part. There isn't really a single universally agreed upon standard dose. It really varies depending on why you're taking it and what form you're using seed powder specific extract. It all differs. Research has used a wide range for testosterone support, maybe 250, 600 milligrams of certain extracts. For breast milk, studies used maybe 1 to 6 grams of the powder. For blood sugar or cholesterol, some studies went even higher, like 5 to 25 grams. So quite a spread.
That huge range really highlights,
Yeah.
well, it leads us straight into safety and side effects, doesn't it? Because natural doesn't always mean risk-free.
Absolutely a central point. Generally, in amounts you'd use in cooking, fenugreek is considered safe for most people.
Okay.
But when you get into higher doses, like with supplements, some mild side effects can pop up. Things like bloating, maybe some diarrhea, gas, nausea, general digestive upset.
And the maple syrup smell.
Yes, that too. A distinctive maple syrup-like odor in sweat or urine is definitely a known, though harmless, possibility.
But there are more serious cautions too, right? For specific groups of people.
Yes, and these are really important. People taking diabetes medications need to be very careful. Since fenugreek can lower blood sugar, taking it alongside meds could push levels too low, causing hypoglycemia.
Okay, that's critical.
Also, it might increase the effects of blood thinners, like warfarin, and potentially interact with diuretics or certain heart medications. So combining fenugreek supplements with any of these really needs close medical supervision.
Right.
And crucially, fenugreek should not be used during pregnancy. There's some animal data suggesting it could potentially stimulate uterine contractions. So erring on the side of caution, it's best avoided.
Definitely avoid during pregnancy. What about kids?
Experts generally advise against children taking fenugreek supplements. And people with peanut or chickpea allergies should be cautious too, as there's a chance of cross-reactivity. Oh, and very high doses have been linked to potential liver toxicity in rare cases.
Wow, okay.